Shirou let out a sigh as he sat down on a table in Chaldea's cafeteria. Geez, it's been a few weeks since I've seen Engramanyu, and I've already attacked him upon seeing him. Just what is Master thinking of keeping him in Chaldea? That's the same god of darkness that caused the great Fuyuki fire in my world and nearly destroyed the world twice. Not to mention the fact that he also corrupted the Grail with his tainted mud, turning it into an item that only causes destruction. Also, why does he look like me for some reason? Not wanting to go even further into the question, Shirou then looked down at his meal. Well, there's no point to think on an empty stomach. I guess I should eat now then. Shirou then began to eat. As Shirou was eating, a certain servant came into the room. Shirou noticed the servant in the room. Oh, hey Archer. Or should I call you Emiya? Emiya sighed. Just call me Archer. It feels weird being called as my last name by you. I can't blame you. It would be weird if I had a younger version of myself calling me by my own name, Shirou replied. And I hope that both of us will never go through that situation, Emiya said as he sat next to Shirou. So, what are you up to? Oh, nothing much. Just trying to calm myself down. Really? You have a problem or something or someone? Well, you could say that. Shirou said as he didn't want to explain the situation about his first meeting at Engramanyu while he kept eating his meal to keep his mouth shut. For a moment, Emiya was confused with why his younger counterpart was trying to keep his mouth shut by eating the meal in front of him. He was also wondering what could possibly make his younger counterpart act unusual. Then it hit him. I guess your situation has something to do with Engramanyu, doesn't it? Emiya blurted out. Shirou nearly choked on the meal he was eating. Quickly, he grabbed a glass of water and started drinking it, clearing his throat. How did you know? Shirou asked. Emiya let out a smirk. Well, I am you after all. You're easy to read like a book. Shirou let out a sigh. Really? Yeah. Anyways, what's your situation with Engramanyu? Shirou sighed again. I attacked him when I first saw him. You too, huh? Shirou then turned to Emiya. You did the same thing? Yeah, and it was something I do not want to talk about. Emiya said as he began to tell the events of how he met Engramanyu in person for the first time. Months earlier, Emiya was walking down the hallway, minding his own business. It was then that he saw Ritsuka with a new servant. Master summoned a new servant again, although why does he oddly look familiar? And this aura, why does it bother me so much? Soon, Ritsuka and the new servant soon came closer to Emiya. Oh, hey Archer, Ritsuka greeted. Hey Master. Who's the servant next to you? Oh him? His name is Engramanyu. Silence occurred between the three as Emiya was trying to process what Ritsuka just said. For a moment, nothing happened. Then Emiya traced Concho and Bakuya and lunged himself towards at Engramanyu. Archer? What are you doing? Stay out of this, Master. This servant shouldn't be here, Emiya growled as he soon clashed with Engramanyu. Hey! What did I do to you? Engramanyu yelled as he was attacked by Emiya. Shut up. And a fight between Emiya and Engramanyu started. Back to the present. And that's what happened, Emiya said as he was finished with the story of the first time he met Engramanyu. Shirou was shocked. So, let me get this straight. Upon meeting Engramanyu for the first time, you immediately attacked him? Yeah. How did it end? Emiya let out a sigh. Master unleashed a command seal on me, forcing the fight to end. I see. By any chance, did Arturia had the same reaction as you upon meeting him? Yeah. From what I heard, the meeting between the two ended the same way as mine. Really? Emiya nodded. For a moment, Shirou and Emiya were silent as both of them were trying to figure out how to continue the conversation. After a few minutes of silence, Shirou decided to speak out. You know, I'm wondering how a Narut master managed to summon Angermanu, the evil god of Zoroastrianism. Not to mention the fact that he's residing in Chaldea now. I mean, we're looking at the same person that caused the Great Fuyuki Fire and tainted the 4th and 5th Fuyuki Holy Grail Wars in our timelines. What is Master thinking of keeping him here? Well, here's the thing. This may sound funny coming from my mouth, but I think he isn't a threat at all, Emiya said with a sigh. Shirou was surprised at what Emiya just said. What? Yeah. Are you serious? Trust me, even I'm surprised by this as well. How can you be so sure? Well, after Master forcibly ended the fight between me and Angermanu, I spied on Angermanu for the next few days to see if he was planning something or if he was being a threat to Master. Surprisingly, he hasn't even done anything disastrous or wasn't a threat to Master at all. There are cases where he did get into a few fights with other servants and such, but otherwise, he hasn't done anything at all. Shirou was speechless at his future counterpart's words. Angermanu, the evil god of Zoroastrianism, the one who caused the Great Fuyuki Fire and tainted the Holy Grail in his world, not being a threat to Chaldea? That was something Shirou did not expect. Hey, you okay? Emiya said, snapping Shirou out of it. Why yeah. I'm just surprised that Angermanu is not doing anything bad here or being a threat to Master. I mean, considering what he did to both me and you in the past, this is just a shock. In fact, this does bring up a question that's been bothering me for quite a while. What is it? What caused him to be like this? What made Angermanu? And why does he look like us? Emiya shrugged. Hey, it's not my business to find that out. If you want to find out, then do it yourself, he said as he soon left. Shirou let out a small sigh. That personality of Archer still hasn't changed. Soon, Shirou finished his meal and left the cafeteria, heading towards Chaldea's data room where the data of many servants were being recorded. Eventually, he arrived over there, went onto one of the computers, and searched up Angermanu's profile. Angermanu, where is his profile? Ah, there it is. Shirou then looked at Angermanu's profile. Upon looking at it, he was shocked upon seeing his story. Because his profile said this. Angermanu, the evil god of Zoroastrianism. Also known as all of the world's evils. However, he was just a villager who was freed from the confines of order by having his name expelled from the Avesta, the universal revelation of inscribed creation. One day, he was randomly chosen as the source of all evil in the world by his village and was tortured and sacrificed in the ensuing rituals. The villagers, who were suffering from various disasters, eventually came to need a scapegoat for blaming their troubles onto. This scapegoat would be designated to be a daemon and be chosen to be the reason for all the calamities afflicting the village. Simultaneously, he would be chosen to be the source of all the world's evil, and by his existence, the villagers would have to be good by nature. So, they continuously tortured him until he went insane. They captured him, beat him, carved every word that cursed mankind onto his body, forced every sin imaginable upon him, took out bits and pieces of him slowly, defiled his mind with absolute evil, and held him responsible for all of it in the world. They would not allow him to die until he succumbed to old age. He had a curse put on him as a result, one made of the great evil that he was to represent. He was shocked at first at the senselessness of it at all. Eventually, he started wondering who it was he should hate. However, Avenger himself only felt anger and hatred towards the world and the people that mercilessly executed him. His forced sacrifice eased the confused minds of his people, which despite being unintentional, qualified him to become a heroic spirit. He only despised mankind of his own accord during the first few years, but after that, the hate became a natural function for him rather than an emotion. Hate was the state he was always in, so it was only natural for him to continue hating everything without any other reason. By that time, he forgave and tolerated humanity for whatever sins they may cause while hating them. The world is worth hating. The imbalances were evened out by his hatred, so the people could be absolved of all guilt and live freely. But that kind of forgiveness is also the same type that validates any good or evil that humans may perform. Yet as the time passed by and he saw many rises and fall of generations, he realized that while he still hated humans for what they did, he still loved the world. Of course, the people that put him up there, his family, his loved ones, the people he hated, died long before he did. The village changed over the generations, expanding, declining. People reviled him, people feared him, people scorned him, and yet they revered him as the sign of their salvation. But he could do nothing but hate, since that was the only thing he could communicate to the world. In the end, he accepted his role for humanity, even if it meant to be the blame for their wrongdoings. As he watched the world for millennia, his name, his body, and his soul eroded away, leaving only his raw emotion of hatred behind. This hatred remains watching the human world and will do so until its very end. As Shirou was done reading his profile, Shirou was baffled with what Ungermanu went through. Wow, I did not expect this. Ungermanu was in one of Chaldea's recreational rooms, minding his own business. Well, today seems to be a normal day. I got my daily dose of soda, there's no missions for me to do, and there's no one that's going to bother me. Hope this day doesn't go bad on me. However, as soon as he thought of that, the one person that scares him has arrived in the room. Ah, come on. Ungermanu thought as Shirou came into the room. What do you want? He asked as he got out of the sofa he was sitting on. Relax, Ungermanu, I'm not here for a fight. Ungermanu didn't believe him. How so? Do you have any proof? Trust me. At least I didn't attack you on first sight unlike last time, remember? Ungermanu then gave Shirou's statement some thought. True. At least he's introducing himself this time unlike what happened last time, guess this won't hurt. He then went back to sit on the sofa. Shirou then did the same as well. So, what do you want? Shirou took a deep breath before saying what he wanted to say. I feel bad for you. Ungermanu was shocked upon hearing Shirou's statement. What did you just say? I said I feel bad for you, Shirou repeated. At that point, Ungermanu was wondering if he was in a dream or not. He then slapped himself on the face, checking to see if this was a dream or now. And it was not. Whoa. What brought that up? Ungermanu asked. Well, let's just say, I know a bit about your past, Shirou replied. Ungermanu sighed. So, you read my profile, didn't you? Yeah. And I just want to say, Shirou said, but was cut off from Ungermanu. No need. I already know what you were about to say. And for the record, yes. I did hate the villagers for what they did to me at one point. All the curses they placed on me, all that pain from them, even now, it still hurts to even think about it. However, I got over it eventually as time passed by. However, that didn't mean that I forgave them for what they did. I still hated them, but that's what I am. A god of evil and hatred. And I'm okay with that. Ungermanu. So Emiya Shirou, if you still hate me, then continue to hate me. But you know, I'll continue to live as long as there's hatred around in this world. For a moment, Shirou was silent upon hearing Ungermanu's words. Then, after a few minutes of gathering his thoughts, he gave his answer. Well then, that's the one thing we'll both agree on. And what would that be? Hating you. Ungramenyu laughed at Shirou's answer. Good answer. Well then, I'll be leaving then. Goodbye Emiya Shirou. However, before he could leave, Shirou stopped him to ask one more question. Wait. Before you leave, there's one more thing I want to ask. Why do you look like me? Ungramenyu let out a sigh. Here's the thing, multiverse theory is a bitch.